This is John for Johnny's Beat on the Chicago Patch. I'm here on the beat. I had the pleasure of being on the beat with departing DePaul player Kate Polucha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. Let me first of all, congratulations on an excellent career. Congratulations on as a team on a great season.
Thank you.
Um, Let me ask you, how's your ACL going?
So it's going well. I'm 8 days post-op now, so I'm starting to feel a lot better. I definitely feel like I'm turning a corner. The first couple of days were rough, but I mean, you just got to get through it, you know? So I'm feeling good now, a lot better.
How did you injure it?
It's funny. I actually tore my ACL back at the beginning of March. It was during softball. We were playing in Oklahoma, and I was running through first base. And after I hit first, I kind of hyperextended, and the infielder overthrew the first baseman. So I saw that and tried to make a quick move to go to second base, and my knee just kind of
Oh,
like went the other way. So I didn't know it was torn though because I didn't really get swollen. The athletic trainer checked me and she said that she didn't think it was torn at first. And so I rehabbed for a week. I took about a week off from playing and then I started playing again and I felt pretty good. So I ended up being able to finish the season with a torn ACL. So I played mid March up until mid May. And I just did a lot of I spent my life in the training room. I mean, I was in there like every day but I'm so thankful. I mean, I was really lucky to have, I mean, not only to, I guess, having the injury is hard, but to be able to finish out my last year, I mean, I'm so grateful for that.
yeah, my niece, as I told you in the message, my niece tore her ACL and she just had the surgery like 2 weeks ago. And I think tomorrow she gets out of that brace, the locked brace thing.
Yeah.
She's really looking forward to that. Are you still in that or did you even
Yeah.
have that?
So I should hopefully get out of that at some point next week, but the lock brace is definitely not fun. It's
Yeah.
uncomfortable to sleep and it's definitely weird. So I'm hoping that if I keep building up my quad strength, that's what they say helps get it off fast. It's usually around the 2 week, 3 week mark that you get it off. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Well, let me start. Let me take you back to where you're from, California. How did you end up playing softball at DePaul?
So I was in Colorado playing a tournament, and I've actually played with Miranda, who was on DePaul as well. We've played together since we were freshmen in high school,
Wow.
so I've played with her almost my whole like career, you know, or at least half my career. And so we were both together in a tournament in Colorado playing in an all-star game. And that's when we got recruited by DePaul. We had the other coaching staff at the time. So Eugene Lenti, Lindsay Siski, and Lindsay Platt. Eugene Lenti, the head coach at the time, saw us and he was very quick to bringing us both on a visit. We got to go together. So it was super fun. And then we both committed pretty quick after that. And so I've had the pleasure of playing with Mo. I mean, there is no better teammate, no better person. And I got to spend the last 5 years playing with her. So it's been a pleasure.
Now, you know, I live in Chicago. I love Chicago, but leaving California to come to school in Chicago and play softball in Chicago in cold weather, had
Yeah.
you a bit of a tough decision or?
Yeah, so I knew at a young age during the recruiting process because the rules were different when I was getting recruited. Coaches could talk to you at pretty much any age. So I got recruited to DePaul when it was my summer going into my sophomore year of high school. So it was pretty early, but I knew that I wanted to go somewhere out of state, somewhere in a different area just for the experience. So I wasn't really looking, to be honest, at any schools in California or even like somewhat close to California. I knew I wanted to be away from home, gain that experience. And so yeah, the winter is hard, but I mean it makes me it's really made me appreciate good weather. So when I get to play in good weather or just experiencing good weather, now I definitely don't take California for granted weather wise, that's for sure.
And did you see DePaul Stadium, Cacciatore Stadium? Did you see that before you actually played there?
Yeah, so I knew it was a dirt field at one point which I don't know how they could have maintained that with the winter. That must have been really hard, especially because it was still like a dual field, softball and soccer. So I think it was a good decision for them to make it turf just because it makes the maintenance so much easier for everybody. We don't have to worry about tarping the field. So, but it was cool looking at dirt also. Like sometimes, because I've played on dirt my whole life, I miss it once in a while, dirt and grass. But I mean, just the turf experience in the Midwest, I feel like it just makes sense.
Yeah, I just love that stadium because it's so Chicago. You got the L track in the background. It's kind of tucked away. A lot of people don't even know it's there, but I love that stadium.
Yeah,
I haven't been to any California ones though.
yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I really like Cacciatore Stadium. I mean, it's obviously something I'm so comfortable with now because I've played there for 5 years, but it's definitely cool to have like the L train like go by and I don't know.
Rattle the stands.
Chicago. It's definitely the Chicago experience, so I like it.
No, you were pretty big honor freshman year, Big East freshman of the year. Did that put extra pressure on you, or did that make you more relaxed going into your second year?
I don't. It's hard to say because my sophomore year, my stats went down a little bit in some aspects. I don't necessarily know if that was like due to pressure or just whatever they call the sophomore slump, as you hear. Who knows? But um, I don't know. I was very surprised when I got freshman of the year. It was like a nice like surprise. I mean, I worked really hard that year. I was always in the batting cages after practice, even after games. So I dedicated my time. So it was a really nice reward at the end. And of course, we also won a Big East championship that year. That was probably my most fond memory of the year. But I mean, it is nice sometimes. I feel like to be recognized when you do well, like that's a good feeling. So I guess let me think. I mean, I definitely think Big East freshman of the year was cool, but just being with my teammates, like some of my best friends and winning big championships, I feel like those are the memories that I'm truly going to remember from my experience here.
And how cool was it to win? I know you've won the Big East championship out in Rosemont at whatever it's called, Bandit Stadium or the
Yeah.
Park at Rosemont. I was out there for a couple of those. How cool was it to win it there?
Oh, it was so cool. I mean, both times because I've won it twice in the 5 years that I've been here. Both times it was just amazing. I mean, obviously you look back at my sophomore year when we were down and we ended up winning 11-10. I mean, that was probably one of the
Oh,
craziest games I've been a part of in my career. Just the energy and like being so down by so much early in the game. I mean, it was hard because we felt a little bit defeated. So to then turn that around and win, I mean, I still think of that game. That's a game I'll never forget. And then just my freshman year winning it for the first time. I mean, that moment, like when you hold the trophy, it feels like everything was worth it. All the early mornings, all the hard travel days, all the getting up and walking to weights in the snow at 6 a.m. Like all those hard moments, it really feels like they pay off when you hold up that trophy. So I mean, it's an unbelievable feeling. And then you get to go to postseason and travel somewhere totally new and play at a huge stadium in front of a big crowd. I mean, to say that I've been to two regionals in my career, like it's just awesome. We played at Arkansas my freshman year, and then my sophomore year when we won, we played at Michigan. So two great
wow.
schools and huge crowds, a cool fan base. So it was nice to go from playing at like a small venue like Cacciatore Stadium to playing in. I mean, I've had experience now at playing in front of a big crowd. You can't ask for any more.
No, that's awfully cool. And yeah, that 11-10 game, I was there. That really, I mean, I've been to hundreds of games. That was like top five games that I've ever seen. That was
Right? Oh,
crazy fun. Now,
it's
right in the same
awesome.
spot, you played in the dome tournament, is what I'm trying to say. You played
Yeah.
the dome tournament in the dome. How hard is that as an outfielder? Because I mean, I've looked at that. To me, that seems incredibly hard.
Yeah, the dome trim is definitely an interesting one because that field plays kind of interesting. I would say the hardest part about playing in the dome is if you get a ball that's like a high like if someone hits a line drive to you in the outfield and it takes a high bounce, you have to worry about it like literally bouncing over your head. And that like I've never experienced, but luckily our coaches do a good job of getting us a lot of experience playing out there. So when we play there for the tournament, it's not necessarily an unknown. I mean, I remember my freshman year going there for the first time and just like kind of making some errors, just like getting used to like the field and how it's played. But I mean, over time, just with experience, you loosen up. I mean, it's just like when you go to any field that you've never played on, it can kind of feel a little bit funky at first, but I mean, luckily we took a lot of reps there over the years, so I feel comfortable playing there now.
So what's in your future now? I know you're still studying at DePaul, right?
Yeah, so I'm halfway through a master's degree in community psychology. So even though I'm done playing, I'm going to be finishing up my master's degree next year at DePaul. I'm also working for DePaul Athletics Facilities. So I'm Mike Lenti. He's the head of facilities. I'm his GA. So I go to a lot of like the sports events and like help out. And I work on like his financial stuff. So I'll be around DePaul Athletics, which I'm really happy for one more year to, I mean, obviously I'll be around for life, but I'll definitely be around next year to help the team in any way, or I'm just excited. It's nice because it's an easy transition for me because I'll still be around DePaul Athletics for another year, even though I'm not playing. So hopefully that helps with me being retired now.
Now, do you plan on staying in the Midwest in Chicago, or are you heading? I mean, obviously short term, I know, but
Yeah.
after that.
So definitely next year. And then I'm not 100% sure. I kind of want to live, I love Chicago, but I kind of want to live long term in maybe an area closer to my family. So somewhere on the West Coast, maybe. I would love to live in California, but it's honestly really expensive right now. So I would have to definitely save my money. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not set on anything yet, but good weather does sound nice. The winters
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. As somebody who spent way too many winters in Chicago, I can tell you good weather would sound nice.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me put you on the spot with a couple of really tough questions. Defensive
Okay.
gem versus big home run.
Wait, sorry, what did you say?
Defensive gem versus home run. Which would you rather get?
Oh, that's hard. For me, I mean, I love hitting, to be honest, more than defense. So for me, I just love the feeling of like connecting with the ball and hitting it hard. So I got to say home run. But
Okay.
defensive gem's also cool because then you just feel like a real athlete as well. So, but home run for me.
And pizza. You've been in Chicago long enough. So is it thin crust? Is it deep dish? Is it stuffed?
Oh my gosh. I mean, don't hate me, but I don't really like deep dish that much. It's a little soggy. It's a little soggy. I'm a thin crust girl.
Any favorite spots or just any of them?
I mean I've tried all like the main ones, so like Lou Malnati's and then Giordano's. I like that place. I think I like that place more than Lou Malnati's, but I mean the thin crust is good from both of those places. So
You know, you make a good point. Everybody, when they talk about both those spots, they always talk about the thick crust and all that. I prefer the thin crust at both those places much more than the other one.
I know. I just to me, like I don't really love like a lot of sauce. And I feel like deep dish is like pretty heavy on the sauce and the bread as well. I don't like a lot of bread. So I think the thin crust is the way to go.
No, before we wrap this up, so your last game, whatever the game was, you played in it. How did you feel on the last time you took the field, the last year, like all your lasts? How were
Yeah,
you
I mean,
feeling?
geez, this was a year of a lot of lasts. So, I mean, it's funny. I don't know if I'm gonna regret saying this, but so in that last game, I was at 199 hits for my career. And so a little bit, I knew it might not be my last game, but in the back of my mind, of course, there's a worry. I mean, it's an elimination game. UConn's a good team. We battled with them all year long. So in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, geez, I really want to win this game. And I also want to get, my 200th hit.
Sure.
And so what ended up being my last at bat, I hit a pretty good ball out to like shallow right field. It wasn't the hardest ball I've ever hit, but it was placed well. And I really thought like, oh, this could be it. And we were down at this point 6-2 with two runners on base. And I really thought that both these runners were going to score on this ball. And the second baseman just made an unbelievable dive, full extension into right field and robbed me of that hit. And I mean, that humbled me a little bit, you know. I mean, that was my last bout of my career. I mean, they posted it on NCAA softball, the Instagram. So then I had to relive it, unfortunately. But, you know, what I came to realize is that this game, I mean, I've had so many blessings throughout my career. And I know that one at bat, one hit, one whatever doesn't define my career that I've had. And at the end of the game, I mean, it was really hard to say goodbye just because this has been something that I've done, you know, since I was 5 years old. It's taken up like a lot of my life, you know, but I've just realized that I feel like I'm ready, you know, to move on. And I still love softball and will be around, but I know that I have more to offer than just being, you know, an athlete or a student or whatever. So it definitely it was weird emotions when the game ended because I was like, wow, this is really it. Like that's the last time I'm ever going to be on the field with like these people and my coaches. And so, I mean, I'm definitely still sometimes kind of in shock about it, but you know, this surgery has like taken my mind off of it a little, that's for sure.
Okay,
So
listen, I really appreciate your time, and you know, I've covered the team your entire time at DePaul, and really, you had a fantastic career. It was always a pleasure to watch you, whether on offense or defense. It's such a pleasure to watch you. You were a great ball player and a great asset to DePaul, and I appreciate everything you did there, and I appreciate your time now. And I wish you a speedy recovery.
thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. This was fun. I mean, it is nice talking about the past and kind of getting some time to relive it a little. So thank you for asking me to do this.
Well, I'm sure I'll see you around Cacciatore Stadium in the spring, and we can do an update or something, see how your leg's doing.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, you have a great day. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.